Coming up on Miss Laquita, we're going to do a little bit of coding. We're only going to answer 3 questions. This is me starting my second role that I was telling you all about. We ran into an issue with the login, got acquainted with my team lead and stuff. She said 4 charts per hour. And I was like, am I being pranked? Now I'm wondering, is this inpatient coding? I never was told that it was inpatient coding. When I get back, I'm going to ask my team lead. Guys, she said it's a... Good morning, you guys. Welcome back. That's actually my alarm reminding me that I now have 30 minutes to get ready for my new job. So you guys, this is me starting my second role that I was telling you all about. Basically getting ready for the day. I'm trying to prepare. I've ran into some technical issues with the laptop, and I gotta get this stuff looked at. But the new role, they sent me a laptop. They did not provide the monitor. So this screen that I have here is the screen that I've already had personally, my own screen. I'm about to look and see, do I have an email from them to give me some direction. The meeting was a whole hour. Basically went over all the things that we need to complete for today before we do training and get into live production and all of that. So I have a few tasks that I need to take care of. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off because I need to take care of these things. Okay, you guys. So right now we ran into an issue. You log into one system and then it logs you into everything else. I'm logged into the system, but for some reason when I click on the thing to do the training, it's trying to make me log in again, and it's like a loop. It just keeps happening. My lead said, go ahead and take a 30-minute lunch and we'll come back and we'll try to figure it out after that. So I decided to come and make a Starbucks run and give me like a coffee and something to eat on my lunch really fast. It's 11 o'clock in the morning right now, so it's an early lunch, but the task for today was to, of course, do like the welcome to the team type of situation, going over everything as it relates to timesheets, how to log your time, how to log into all the different systems. We went over all of that. Expectations, training period. They expect for us to be up to speed in like the next, I think they said 3 to 4 weeks or something like that. They expect for us to start doing some live coding, hopefully like around mid next week. But I did start midweek as well. So basically a week from now, they expect us to start coding charts. Since I've already completed the call, I've already got acquainted with my team lead and stuff. We also had a call. So now I have to do my training. But like I said, the login thing is not working right. So we're trying to get that sorted out. Once that's sorted out, then I can do my compliance training. And then after that, then I will log off and I will be done for today. So I'm a little worried because they were saying like one could be like 300 pages. So now I'm wondering, is this inpatient coding? I never was told that it was inpatient coding. Maybe the charts are just really, really big, but I just don't understand how. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's an outpatient chart with a bunch of date of services. I will find that out later because I do not desire to do inpatient coding. With the role that I have now, we actually have some inpatient charts. It's a mixture. I don't like inpatient charts. As far as I know right now, I don't like it. Hearing them say one chart could be like 500 pages. I've dealt with charts like that before, but only on a QC type of level, looking over it, making sure everything is, right. So this is different for me. I hope it's a great fit. I really do. Hold on, y'all. I got to order my stuff. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am. I want to get a venti Americano, heavy cream and steamed. I got to hurry up and get back. I probably got like 20 minutes now. They said that we got to adhere to 95% accuracy. Okay, fine. That's standard. But then she said 4 charts per hour. And I was like, 4 charts per hour? Am I being pranked? I've never heard of a chart number per hour for medical coding be so low. So when they said 4 charts per hour, I was like, oh, these must be some hefty charts. And either it's outpatient with a bunch of data services or it's inpatient coding. Matter of fact, when I get back, I'm going to ask my team lead. Yeah.
I got your coffee right here.
Thank you. I'm sorry? Oh, no, ma'am. Thank you. Ooh, them Americanos be so good. Right now, I'm asking right now if the charts are outpatient charts with a bunch of DOS encounters, or are they inpatient charts? Guys, she said it's a mix. I had no clue. Thank you so much. So it could be inpatient or outpatient. Y'all, it was not communicated to me that we would be doing inpatient charts. I didn't know this. I'm already doing a little bit of inpatient charts at my current role. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Looks like the issue was not resolved. They just told us to come back tomorrow. I really didn't even really get anything done today. That's how it is sometimes, y'all. With any job, your first day, you're really focused on getting your system assets and stuff like that. So I'm gonna log back in tomorrow. Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of the video. So we're going to do a little bit of coding. We're only going to answer 3 questions. I get new people all the time on this channel. A lot of you are new inquiring about medical coding. So we're going to do about 3 questions just to kind of give you an idea of what it is. We're going to click on test.com. We're only going to be answering the questions that are ICD-10 focused only, because that's the only type of coding that I do. You have the option to view one question at a time, or to view answers as you go, or to just leave it as is and see all the questions. I decided to view the answers as you go. Question number 1 reads, a patient presents with CKD stage 3, edema, and hypertension. The correct ICD-10 codes for this chart are, this one is really, really easy because you are not supposed to code the symptom of a condition. Edema is a symptom of CKD stage 3. If I was taking the exam, I would quickly mark answer C because I know that R609 is the code for edema, and that is the answer choice for A, B, and also D. I will automatically pick C and I will move on to the next question. For the ICD-10-CM guidelines, do not code signs and symptoms. Edema is a symptom of both hypertension and CKD. Guidelines state there is a causal relationship assumed between CKD and hypertension, unless the provider specifically states that the hypertension is not related to the CKD, giving this patient hypertensive chronic kidney disease instead of regular hypertension. Second question reads, for urosepsis, a coder must what? When I looked up urosepsis in an ICD-10-CM index, it states code to condition. So there's no code for urosepsis in this book. I also looked it up on Google and it also says the same thing. Coders do sometimes utilize Google if we're ever unsure about something or if we're trying to get more information. Of course, you can't trust everything off of the internet, and the fact that it said code to condition in the ICD-10 index, it showed us from the index that there is no code. For the answer choices, we have use the code for severe sepsis, B, use the code for sepsis with organ dysfunction, C, query the provider, D, code first localized sepsis. Now, we must remember when we looked in the index, it said code to condition. It did not instruct you to code sepsis at all. We would not be choosing A, B, or D. We would have to query the provider. According to ICD-10-CM guidelines, urosepsis is a non-specific term and has no tabular position. The provider must be queried for clarification. Let's dive deeper into urosepsis. We now know that urosepsis does not map to a code. But what is urosepsis? It says urosepsis is sepsis caused by infections of the urinary tract, including cystitis or lower urinary tract and bladder infections, and so on and so on. And this was from the website of the National Institute of Health. Now, depending on where you work, some places may have certain websites that they approve you going to research conditions. I've worked somewhere where we were only supposed to use Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic website. Another place I've worked, they only want us to use Mayo Clinic and drugs.com. I'm looking up urosepsis on Mayo Clinic and I didn't see any results for it. I even tried searching this way and it only showed sepsis, and we cannot code sepsis, of course. So we're going to go to Cleveland Clinic. On Cleveland Clinic, it backs up what we read on the other side. Urosepsis is a type of sepsis that begins in your urinary tract. It happens when a urinary tract infection, UTI, goes untreated and spreads to your kidneys. Urosepsis can be a medical emergency. This is also a great example of why understanding medical terminology is important. Knowing that uro means something dealing with the urine can also help point you in the right direction. If the provider only documented that this person has urosepsis and is being treated with an antibiotic, we can't code that. But the fact that we have knowledge now of what urosepsis is and that it's actually a sepsis that begins in the urinary tract, if the provider would have stated something like patient has sepsis due to a urinary tract infection, we would have more meat to be able to code sepsis. Last and final question. A patient comes into the office with white fuzzy patches on their tongue and is diagnosed with oral hairy leukoplakia. The provider runs a test for HIV and notates that the patient has HIV in the chart, but does not have a positive lab test yet. The patient is a smoker. What is the correct sequencing of these ICD-10 codes? ZA7A91 is the personal history code of nicotine dependence. We have knowledge that the patient is an active smoker. B and C are automatically crossed out. That leaves answer choices A and D. F17200 is a nicotine dependence code. But I'm going to be honest, I do not understand why these are the answer choices, so we're going to have to do some research. B20 is the HIV code, and Z21 is also an HIV code, but the difference between the two is Z21 is asymptomatic, meaning they have HIV, but they're not experiencing any symptoms. B20, they have HIV, but they are experiencing symptoms. So I know for a fact, by just doing the rule out method of having that knowledge alone, that the answer choice is A, but I don't understand why the answer choice is A, because it only stated that the provider ran a test for HIV and then it was notated that the patient has HIV. There was not a confirmed positive test result. According to chapter guidelines, if a patient is seen for an HIV related condition, which oral hairy leukoplakia is, then BTO is coded first, then the complications. Only the provider's statement is needed that the patient has HIV, not a positive lab test. F17200 is to be assigned when the provider documents smoker, but gives no further clarification. In the guidelines, it does in fact state that confirmation does not require documentation of positive serology or culture for HIV. The provider's diagnostic statement that the patient is HIV positive or has an HIV-related illness is sufficient.